Welcome to the Know Your Legacy podcast, guys. This week's episode features Coach Sadiq. He's an aspiring business owner, speaker, and YouTuber from London. And he's basically pushing the message of thinking outside the box when it comes to creating your own life. And he's doing that through his Minute Motivate series on YouTube. So, Sadiq, thank you so much for taking the time today to share your wisdom and knowledge with us all.
No worries. Thank you so much, Vipul, for having me on here, man.
No problem. It's a pleasure. We've been speaking for a little while. I think we connected through Sanya because as we got speaking, you saw my page and then I saw the sort of stuff you were doing. And the fact that you were from London sort of pushed me and urged me to want to speak to you a bit more because it's quite hard to find people in our local sort of community and area that do a similar sort of thing to us or have a similar sort of mindset. And when that happens, it's a bit difficult to almost continue on the journey because you're always looking for that tribe or that community of people. So I just wanted to know, what's it been like for you on your journey so far in terms of connecting with other people and how have you found the journey yourself? Because a lot of people say that it can get quite lonely. So, I just wondered what your experience has been like so far.
So definitely I agree with you, Vipul, on when you said the part about loneliness, okay? Because, for me, I was kind of brought up here in London with, not many friends. I had just a few group of friends and just a handful of them that I really trusted. And we kind of, we got along, we did what we need to do, we went to college and we had our fun and, we just lived a normal life like everyone else. But I just wanted to take a different route as to when they decided to go to university. I just wanted to go into the world of work and start making money, start, helping out my family. And I guess when I started in business, about almost 4 years ago now, about 3.5 years ago, when I started into business and I started getting the mindset that I have today and from mentors and from reading books, I think the main thing for me, the reason why I say sometimes it can be a bit lonely is because, you're always hustling, you're always grinding, you're always looking to meet people that are like you. And when you're with your friends, they are not like us. They don't think like us. They don't want to be like us. They think we're different. They think we're crazy. And they kind of push themselves away from you, if that makes sense. So as my mindset started developing, as I started, especially social media, which had the biggest influence for me, I reckon, because right now, social media is like my best friend. I make all my friends through social media, like how I met you, like how I met Sanya, like how I met, even John from Kindness Matters, and all of these other people, all the people that I've met through Instagram and Facebook. I believe that the people that we connect to nowadays using the power of the internet is just amazing because the whole world has become so small and we can connect with like-minded people and just start a conversation by sending a message saying, hey.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen the power of that recently as well, because I've been using social media for a while now, but I've never used it for that particular reason of connecting and networking with people until about probably 4 or 5 months ago, when I started the podcast series and I started reaching out to build my own community and taking that side of it seriously. And I saw a whole new perspective on Instagram, and I saw that, DM was that there was like real power behind DM, and like Gary Vaynerchuk made a video about that as well a few years back, even like, he was ahead of the curve saying it's down in the DM, that song that you get. You really understand the meaning of that because you got access to people all over the world, you don't have to fly out and have to meet them face to face anymore. You can build your own tribe or your community through that. And I think a lot of people, the feedback that I'm getting and the conversations I'm having is the one thing that people struggle with, which is what I've struggled with as well up until now, is building that community of people. When you're feeling lonely, you're like, who do I go to? Because I can't fly out. I'm stuck in this routine of work. I only know my friends and family. How do I actually break out of that and find that environment where people think like me? And I think people forget this, that there's a whole world of social media. So what have you seen change for yourself in your life once you started using social media for that reason? And what are the sorts of things that you used social media for when connecting with people?
Just gratitude, man. Honestly, I'm so grateful every single day when I wake up, the fact that I can go onto my phone and I can just message or I can have conversations with like-minded people who are on the same kind of journey with me, who are on the same kind of mindset and the same wavelength, as in they just get you. They understand where you're coming from, what you're looking for, what you're heading towards. They know that this person is a massive dreamer. This person has a vision. They're definitely going somewhere. Because I remember when I first started on Instagram, it was just my normal profile. It wasn't Coach Sadiq. It was just Sadiq Hussein 93. And as I started into business, I really started to recognize the fact that I need to start talking to people. I need to be more confident. I need to show people that I am someone. I want to become someone. I want to leave this legacy. I want people to listen to me. For me, it was gratitude. It was just literally being able to go onto my phone every single day, connect with like-minded people, and have a conversation with someone that actually gets you. That actually understands where you're coming from and where you're heading. I think the most important thing is to have people that are encouraging rather than people that are negative, telling you you're useless, you're not gonna make anything happen. Stop doing these videos. Why are you so crazy? What you're not gonna ever become somebody. Why don't you just stop doing what you're doing right now? It's such a waste of time. All of these negative sentences and these negative things that I've been getting from people, it never ever really phased me. You can, like, it's like if you put a heart monitor on me and someone was just spamming negativity at me, I'm just like, I'll just smile. Like literally nothing. My heart would just it would just carry on going. I
Yeah, yeah,
have no, I don't phase to negativity no more because I know what I want, and I really don't care about what other people think about me. This is the thing.
yeah.
This is one of the biggest things that I've learned is I really don't care what somebody's opinion of me is, because end of the day, they don't live in my life. They don't know what I want. They don't pay my bills. They don't help my family. They're not gonna change my life for me. I gotta do everything.
Definitely, I completely agree with you on that, and that's a mindset that I've cultivated recently as well over the last few years. But how do you get there? Like a lot of people will struggle to handle that negativity, even because it's sometimes it comes from your own family, sometimes it comes from your closest
100%.
friends. How do you deal with that? How do you get to the mindset that you've now got?
The biggest thing that I've learned on how to deal with negativity and situations like that is the first thing is just stop worrying about what other people think. Honestly, because at the end of the day, it's your life. You have to decide what you want to do, where you're heading. Who cares about someone else's opinion? Even if it's your mom or your dad or your sisters or your brother or your best friend, to be honest, they are the first people that will tell you that you're useless, that you're crazy, that whatever you're doing is a waste of your time. This is the phrase they always use, waste of your time. Whenever they say this stuff like that, I want you to take that and use that as your drive. Use that as your fire. Use that as your motivation to prove them wrong. Because this is what happened to me when I first started in business and in doing what I'm doing right now, using social media and networking and influence. Trying to be some kind of an influential person online. The first thing that I came across was negativity, especially from the people at home when they were saying, "What are you making videos for?" I used to actually sneak outside to make videos.
Yeah,
It's only now they don't care no more. So I do it in my room. I could do it at home. They just given up. So when it comes to a stage like myself, where at the beginning maybe you have to hide a bit, maybe you have to kind of do things on the low side and kind of sneak around and do stuff. But as time goes on, as they see you change, the biggest thing is they need to see you change. If you're the same Sadiq, if you're the same Vipul, if you're the same person you are right now, and they don't see you change, then why would they want you to be doing what you're doing if they don't see no change in you? If you're the same person coming home, talking the same way, acting the same way, talking about the same kind of things, maybe always negative, you're probably the person that's negative in the first place. So the only way to get rid of negativity is look at yourself. First, you remove negativity from your own mind. Then, when other people give you negativity, who cares? They're not paying your bills. They're not changing your life for you. At the end of the day, your dreams are your dreams. Your vision is your vision. It's not someone else's. Even if it means that someone in within your house or your best friends or your closest people, even if it means that they don't want you to be successful, screw it. Screw them. That means they're not actually your best friend. That means they're not actually the true people that you should have around you. I believe that you should have people that are encouraging, and I think that you should be connecting with people using social media, finding people that are encouraging, finding people like us that will tell you, hey, you know what, you can do it. You can find that warrior within you. You have a dream and you can make it happen. Who cares about what other people are saying? Screw them. You focus on yourself and your life.
there's a lot of things that have come from that I want to branch out and talk about. But what you said is interesting about sneaking around, because I don't think you'll ever understand what that feels like until you're actually doing something yourself. When you actually
Yeah,
start and you're in that process, because you can read about it, you can hear about it. You know, people will
exactly.
listen to this and watch this, but they won't get it. When you're actually in the trenches and you're doing it, then you'll realize, okay, yeah, this is a bit dodgy. I need to, I have to get this creativity or this passion out, but
Mhm.
I can't do it fully knowing that people can hear me or see me. So it's been exactly the same with me over the years, you know, with conversations that I have with like-minded friends as well, and business partners. You know, it's like, oh, I have to whisper a little bit or make sure, you know, that no one's downstairs and can hear me. And it's just like, because I'm talking about stuff that's controversial to
Yeah,
the average person, you know, because it conflicts with their lifestyle, where they're going, and sort of the direction they want to go in. It's a complete 360. And then, you know, your beliefs change as well.
yeah,
And so the way you start talking changes, and then the direction of, you know, the friends that you have and the places you want to go and the way that you think starts to change. And none of that fits in with the average person. So I'm interested to know, because the way you're speaking now is with a lot more confidence in yourself.
yeah.
How did you find out? Because it sounds like you found out, you know, what your dream was, what your why is. You've got all of those sort of basic foundations set. So what are they for you, and how did you figure those out?
That's a really good question, actually. I mean, it, it took me a lot of time, okay, because I started in business and I started doing what I'm doing right now over 3.5 years ago, and it did really take me time. I didn't have this confidence. Actually, to be honest with all your viewers and everyone that's gonna watch this, I wasn't like this confident at all. I was actually the freaking opposite. Okay. And I know people, you always hear stories and you always see videos of people talk about this stuff, but it's real. People like me were just nobodies before. We were just quiet, shy, normal people that had 5 friends, and played Call of Duty after work. These are the types of things I used to do. I used to go to work in my 9 to 5, I used to come home, and I should just go online with 5 of my friends and play Call of Duty all night. And for me, that was my life until I changed my mindset, until actually a friend of mine came into my life and really opened my mind. He actually showed me one thing which I recommend every single person in the planet to please go and read. It's a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. He recommended me that book, and honestly, just one page in that book literally changed my life. It's because of the fact that he made me understand this quadrant that Robert Kiyosaki talks about in his book, about how to move from an employee to a small business owner to a big business owner, and then one day become an investor. For me, the confidence came was when I realized I am an employee and I don't no longer want to be an employee for the rest of my life. That's when confidence came for me, because I wanted to do something for myself. I wanted to find my passion. I wanted to do something that means something, not just go to a job and come home doing the same thing every day with nothing changes, never learn anything new. You're just a robot doing something in a cubicle with no value, no meaning to your life. So for me, the confidence, I would actually recommend people, if you want to find confidence and you want to find your reason or your dream and your vision of what you want to do, is actually take some time out for yourself. Sit down for half an hour, 1 hour, and I really want you to do this. I want you to take out a journal or a book or some paper. Really sit there with, if you want to put music on, if you want to relax or whatever, do whatever you need to do, but sit down by yourself somewhere, have a coffee if you want, and just really focus on yourself for once. Because a lot of people, believe it or not, we stopped thinking about ourselves. We stopped being selfish. Actually, we started looking at what other people are doing. We started gossiping. We started going around and being around people that love to talk about other people. But when's the last time you talked about yourself? When's the last time you thought to yourself, what
Mm,
do I want in my life? This is what you need to do. This is the word called introspection. You need to introspect on your own life, focus on, why am I here? Why do I exist? When I go from this world, how would someone remember me? In a good way, positive way, negative way, hatred, whatever it is. How do you want someone to remember you by? Focus on that reason. Focus on what you want to leave behind. Because everybody thinks we have time, but we don't know if we're going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. And introspection is important because that's something that I found to be very helpful for a place in my life that I was last year. Done it many times, but I found that last year is really a sticking point where I thought, okay, I need to take some time to really figure this out. And this was when I was trying to build the community and think about where I want to take it, what I want to do, how do I want to branch out. And it can be painful. And that's why I think a lot of people avoid it.
Yeah.
And I found my brain trying to avoid it and keep me distracted. But I was like, try to sit there, have Microsoft Word open, just like you with the journal. I had Microsoft Word open in silence, no music, no nothing, and just sat there until I could get all my thoughts out. And I think when you allow yourself to have clarity of mind,
Hmm.
all your thoughts will start coming through and on paper, and then you become even more clear because you'll start to see the process of how you're thinking and what you actually want. And then you start to organize your thoughts, and that's when the power
Hmm.
starts to come in terms of being able to see a clear vision and in the direction that you want to go in. So um,
100%.
what made you actually go from the transition of, because you said you started into business 3.5 years ago, so we'll get into that afterwards, but what made the transition from business to then videoing yourself? Because you said that you weren't always a confident person that be in front of the camera. There are a lot of people out there that want to do that,
Hmm.
but they're shy or they're not confident or worry about other people's opinions. How and why did you
Yeah.
jump in front of the camera?
A couple of reasons why. The first thing was I realized that while I was using social media, one of the biggest things that the biggest trend I started seeing was everybody's on video. Why people start videoing themselves like quietly in their room, or at the beginning, everybody that I saw videoing was very, well, it was very shy kind of videos. It was kind of like at home or like in the bathroom, or like it was really, it wasn't professional videos, and it was just their normal front-facing camera videos. So I started thinking to myself that why are all these business people taking videos of themselves now? Like, why are they speaking through like, why are they sharing their message through a video rather than just a quote or like a speech? Then I realized that words are only words if somebody doesn't actually hear the passion they are said with.
Mm,
So if you have a quote, okay, if Vipul and if Sadiq reads the same quote, you would read it and understand it in a different way to how Sadiq would read it and understand it, because we're both at different stages of our life. We're different. We're probably different ages. We're different lifestyle, different mindset. Everything is different. But when you see someone's video, okay, when you see a passion in someone's video, they may know they don't even actually need to be with you. You can see someone's conviction and confidence and passion in a video, and that actually will get someone to take action more than just reading a quote. That's something I've seen. I saw while I was building my social media community. That fact that so many people are learning more through videos, and I thought to myself, okay, I'm quiet, I'm shy, I'm scared. Okay, I don't know if I should do this. I remember the first time I did, and the only thing I told myself was, Sadiq, just freaking do it. Like, just do it. Just pick up your bloody camera and just video it. So no matter how stupid you look. And I still remember the first video I made, and it was on my Snapchat, and it was actually when I started the Wisdom Wednesday series. When I started with this concept of Wisdom Wednesday, I thought, you know what? Let me start making one video a week, no matter how shit scared I was. Let me just start it. Let me just make that video. And I remember sitting right here on my bed where I am right now, and I was on my phone, and I was like, what shall I say? What should I talk about? And I just thought, you know what? Screw it. I pressed record on Snapchat for 10 seconds at the time when Snapchat was. So I took 10-second video, and I spoke for like 3 to 5 minutes, 10-second videos, and just sharing a message with everyone, just trying to help give some value to everyone. And I remember I had like lots of spots and marks on my face, and I used to worry about that sort of things now. Like, you could even see right now, I have so much marks and my face is really messed up. I'm trying to sort myself out too. But what I mean is, you got to be natural like that. You shouldn't care about how you look, about how you feel even. You need to just go on there, and you need to actually provide value for the people that you want to help. Because my only mission was, you know what, I'm making this video because I wish I can help one person. I wish one person, if one person watches my video, they get inspired by it, they take action, something in their life changes, they start thinking differently to what I said. And as I started, and I started going more and more and making more videos every single week, one a week, I started getting more confident. I started getting more used to the camera. I started liking it. When you start enjoying and you start liking something, you do it more. Okay, so now I started doing 2 videos a week. I started my Wisdom Wednesday. Then I started the Minute Motivate for every Sunday. I thought to myself, how can I? Because I'm also working too in a full-time job. So I wanted to organize and prioritize my week. Too many people are not organizing, prioritizing their week. They're just going with the flow. They're like, okay, let's just do one post today. Like 5 days later, I'll do another one. They're not consistent enough. The one thing I had in my mind was if I start something, I'm gonna make sure I don't stop doing it. I'm gonna continue to do it, which is why till I started my coach Sadiq on Instagram, every single day my post went out, whether it's a quote. Every Wednesday, I've never ever missed a Wisdom Wednesday video. Every Sunday, I make sure that the video goes out on my YouTube channel, and I don't even care about the views on my YouTube channel. I hardly even have any subscribers, but I just know that the more videos, the more value I keep pumping out there, the more videos I do. At the beginning of every successful person's journey, they say when they started videos, no one was watching them, but today they have hundreds and thousands and millions of people watching their videos. So the
Yeah.
key to their success was consistency.
Yeah, it's that old saying of like the master always has to start out as an amateur. What? Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
everyone starts somewhere. You can, there's many metaphors you can use. The seed turns into the oak tree, blah blah blah. But everyone starts somewhere, and you need to realize that you're going to have to start from the beginning. You just
Yeah.
can't go into anything thinking I'm going to be at the top in a few weeks' time, and that's the mindset that people go into. And I've seen it at work as well, because I'm in recruitment, and it's fucking hard. It's a hard graft if you don't enjoy it. I've got my reasons for why I'm there, so I can push through it. I enjoy it because I'm there to build skills, build my communication, verbal and written skills, and that's what it's doing for me. And I'm enjoying it because that's where my natural strength is, and that's why I enjoy having these conversations. I can be consistent with them. I can consistently network and be comfortable in front of the camera. And just like you, I was once shy, in school. If any of my old school friends reconnected with me, they'd be very surprised with what I'm doing now. Very surprised, because I wasn't that person who was at the front of the class talking all the time, or the class clown. I was just at the back, I was soaking in the knowledge, and then I interacted with my friends, and that was it. It was like, I don't want to get too far in front, I don't want to be in the spotlight too much. And that was just me. I was just floating along. And then it's only when I started finding out about myself, who I was, asking the bigger questions in life, just like you said. What do I want to do? How do I want to be remembered? Where am I going? Do I really want to copy what my parents are doing, or what my friends and family are doing? Where is this all taking me? When that only comes from introspection. Stop and think, reflect, and then you realize, am I actually walking down the right path? And what's going to be the end destination of this path? Or do I need to change? Do I need to change lanes? And then you need the courage to do that. So that then brings me to the business aspect, because you then didn't go to university, as you mentioned. I never knew that. So what was the transition from 17, 18, 19, those years when everyone is thinking about UCAS? That's for those that are not in the UK, that's the enrolling process to get onto a university. So what was that process like? What were your parents saying? What were your friends saying? What was going through your mind? Because you weren't as confident as you are now. So why did you make that decision?
So definitely, the thing was, at that time, after my 2 years in college, I studied IT. And after that time, I just saw my friends enrolling for university, and they were all pressuring me, Sadiq, come, we can do a course together. Why don't you just come and do this? Because you like IT, you like computers. Why don't you come and, let's just go together because we're friends, and let's do something that we all enjoy together in the same course, same class. And it's funny because my actual tutor from college made me pay 20 pounds to actually enroll for university, because he said, Sadiq, you might make a big mistake. You're gonna ruin your life. He made me pay 20 pounds from my pocket, and I paid it, and I enrolled for university. I got into all 4 universities that I applied for because I got really good grades in my college IT BTech that I did. And he's like, whoa, he's so happy, and in front of his face I pressed decline, 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 because I made
Wow.
it very clear. Because I made it very clear to him that, sir, I am not going to university because, number one, I see my sister's gone and they're in lots of debt. They all have a crappy job. I'm pretty sure with my knowledge and with what I've learned so far in my life, I can go and move up the ladder and get a good job and start earning some money now, rather than being in debt and going into minus. So for me, the biggest thing was the debt. I just never wanted debt in my life. Until today, I've never ever been minus in my bank account. I never wanted debt because I never wanted to feel like I owe someone something. I owe money to someone or somebody. I've always hated that feeling, and I just didn't want that. So I didn't enroll to, after I declined everything, I thought, okay, now I need to I need to figure out my life. I came home, I told my mom and dad, I'm not going to university. And I made them understand that, look, mom, I'm not really an education person. Why don't I just go make some money so I can help you guys anyways? Because at the end of the day, you want money, right? I said, yeah. I said, okay, so let me just go make money now. Why do you want me to be educated and all of this nonsense when I don't really need to know what I need to know at university? It's only going to teach me one subject and I'm only going to get lots of knowledge, fair enough. But I believe, like, my views or my opinions on university is, if you're doing something to a higher standard, meaning if you want to become a lawyer, a solicitor, accountant, a doctor, engineer, whatever it is, if you want to become those high status roles or jobs in society, then go for it. You actually need to go and get that degree. You need to have those skills. You need to have the mindset and learn what you need to know. But for me, I believe in self-development. I believe in personal growth. I believe in what is it that you actually want to do in your life, not what other people are telling you what you want to do, what you should do in your life. And that's the biggest thing. That's the key. For me, I knew that I'm useless at education. If you ask, just give me any sum in maths and I'm completely lost. I'm actually useless when it comes to maths. Like, people laugh at me so much, and I'm like, you know what? One day I'm just gonna get someone to do it for me.
Yeah.
Honestly, one day I'll pay someone so much money just to do maths for me, because I don't want to think about numbers and stuff. I don't really care. I just want to see the numbers in my bank account one day, and I want to see the numbers of how many lives I've changed.
It's powerful, man. Yeah, that's the real maths that matters. Yeah, carry on. I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, carry on.
So, for me, it was that mindset that I had, that even though I wasn't confident, I knew that I was worth more. I knew I was worth something. So I went into work, started working in retail for about 3-4 years in different retail stores, made money, saved up a good amount of money, bought, actually, at that time was my dream car, which was a BMW 3 Series. At that time, I really wanted it. It was my dream. Like, oh, I really wish I could have a 3 Series. I was 17 when I passed my driving test, and when I was 19, this was my car that I wanted, and my first car was that car. So I was really proud of myself that, I worked hard in a job, made enough money to buy that car and get insured on it and live comfortably still and help my family. And I was really proud and happy with myself. Then I got into a job in the bank where I am now doing finance, and I saw a whole new perspective of life. I got to meet bankers. I got to meet high standard, high kind of status people which think completely different to us. And I started asking them questions and started picking their brains. Hey, how long have you been working here? How's life for you? Are you happy with what you're doing? What I found when I was working in the bank is, a lot of people that I used to work with, or I used to go and network with and speak to, was they were telling me that they were showing me that they're happy, but really in their face I can see they're not. And one of the things a lot of them said was, the only thing that we're not as happy as, or the only thing that we wish that we can have more of, is if we can spend more time with our family, with their kids. Because one of them said to me that they spend more time with pictures of their kids than the real thing.
Shit. Yeah,
And that
that's
really
something to
hit me,
think about.
because
Yeah.
that's the point where it really hit me, and I understood that, wow, I don't want to be in that situation ever in my life. I don't want to, in the future, when I have a wife and kids and I'm married and I want to live the lifestyle that they are, and they can't even see their kids. Screw that. I want to have a life where I'm adding value to people's life. I'm helping people. I'm actually changing lives. At the same time, I'm at home. I can be at home. I can work from home. I can be with my children. I can be with my wife. I can travel the world. I can do the stuff that I want to do. And I think the internet has really, really helped with that, because right now we're just sitting at home on front of a screen and talking to each other. And this message is gonna spread to who knows where it's gonna get to, which country someone's gonna be listening to us. And maybe one thing that me or you have said will inspire them in their life to go and take action to change something in their life. And I really want that to happen, because it's only through action that something in someone else's life can change. You can't just sit there and dream and tell yourself that this is my why, but not do anything.
Yeah, you need to have actionable steps. So I think it's figuring out what it is for you, because I think you figured out early on that, step by step, education wasn't for you, and then you realize the next thing, that okay, if education's not for me, then a job is for me, and then now you're thinking, okay, a job isn't for me, and then you're learning as you go. So I think that's the
Exactly.
key message I'm getting from what you're saying, is that as the years go by, you're continually keeping perspective. So you're looking at the people that are around you, seeing that is this really what I want to do? Even though I'm being pushed and everyone's going in that direction, for where I am now, the age I am now, is this what I should be doing? Yes or no? And then, every year, just making those decisions step by step to get to where you are now. And then, I'm sure you'll be thinking over the next few years, where do I want to go? And do I want to follow what I'm doing now? Do I want to change direction? So it's interesting because it's quite a unique time to make that shift, because at 17 you can either go into that route of getting into debt and then you're stuck there for 3 or 4 years, or like yourself, you go down and start doing your own thing. So it's two different ways that society is working at the moment. And I think the power of the internet has just changed those decisions that we make, because you don't have to go to university. You can use the internet to now make a business and skip those 4 years and start making money for yourself straight away, rather than having to wait for a degree, because it's not as important as it once was. And this is something that I try and tell my parents, but they don't understand, and I've stopped explaining it, because their generation their generation comes from, the degree is the highest level of education, like you're a god if you have one, and I don't see it that way. I think it's just like you said, for those particular roles you may need it, and if you're not doing those roles, it's not necessary. So I mean, so your brothers and sisters, you said that you've got they went to university. I mean, what was it in terms of, when looking at them, that you didn't want to sort of follow their path? Was it just the debt, or were there other things involved as well?
Stress. It's the stress they also had. They always had exams, they always had deadlines and semesters and all this stuff that I didn't really understand, because I didn't really want to know much about university life. The only thing I knew was everybody had fun at university. For me, that was like, okay, you're just going somewhere for 3 years, wasting your life just to have fun for 3 years. Okay, fair enough. You're at that age. Okay, fair enough. You're 17, you're 18, still young. You have fun, party, do whatever you want to do. Every person's different. Everyone thinks differently. Someone like myself, from a younger age, I just knew that I want to do something more in my life. Some people get to my stage when they're 25, when they're 30. Then when they start introspecting their life and thinking, okay, maybe I did actually just ruin 10 years of my life. What do I really want to do in my life now? So I guess it's just the thinking process, and like you said, those actionable steps that we are in perspective of the people around us. So when I saw my sisters always stressed on, for their exams, having coffee and Red Bull to finish off their last deadlines, that kind of lifestyle, I was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, seriously, why are you stressing so much about something that is gonna disappear in one day after you've done the exam? You can never change that decision that's done. You either fail or you pass. And
Yeah.
even till today, when I speak to students and I tell them, why are you bloody worrying so much about your exam? Just do your best, study hard, finish your deadline. Even if it is last minute, do what you can, do your best. But all we can do is your best. That's what you need to know. You can only give your 100% in one thing that you're doing at a time. Then you just leave it to whatever happens.
Yeah, you can.
I believe that whatever will happen will be for a good reason. Meaning, it will be either, if you fail, you learn something. At least go back and see what mistakes you made and learn something from that, so you don't repeat it. And if you pass, then hey, why were you worrying in the first place? You bloody passed.
Yeah, I always
Should
say,
be happy.
that's what I've learned along the way as well, is that you can only do your 50%. So it's 50% you go all out, 50% you leave to the universe, because everything happens. This is what I believe, is everything happens for a reason. And I say that because everything that's happened to me up to this point had to happen for me to get to where I am now. All the decisions that I thought went wrong, all the things that I thought went negative, fell into place to get me to where I am now. So I don't really question that saying when people say it. I truly believe it because of what's happened to me. So talking about your personality as Coach Sadiq, where are you taking that, and how far do you want to go with it? I mean, what's the next steps for that?
So that's something that I've been actually thinking about a lot, recently, and just over the last year or so, I'd say. And I really just started it to kind of just to inspire a few people. I just thought, okay, let me start this Instagram channel, or let me start this brand of Coach Sadiq, just to inspire a few people. I didn't know it would get to where it is now, where we're still not big at all, but it's still a handful of people where are always commenting, are always getting value from my videos, from my posts. And I think the biggest thing for me is when you get those DMs, when you get those comments and those messages where people truly grateful for your message, truly inspired by what you're saying, and call you motivator and inspirational and stuff. I think for me, those messages are what really drive me more to get more of these kind of messages. Because if I can do something so small, like put a post up, even if it's a quote, and somehow, some weird way in someone's heart or someone's life, it influences them or it impacts their life, even the smallest thing like that, I'm just so grateful for. I'm just so happy that, whoa, I just made one video, I made one post, and one or two people are actually, they felt it. I don't care about millions and hundreds and thousands right now. I just care about those few people that are really appreciating what you're doing right now. So for me, where I see Coach Sadiq going, where I see the brand growing, who knows? But the only thing I know is I'm going to continue growing the channel every single day for the rest of until I'm here, and I'm going to do my best to provide as much value to people. For me, it's more of kind of a marketing slash networking slash making friends type of deal. It's all of these three together. So it's like my videos is like my marketing, because it's me sharing a message which hopefully inspires someone to ask me, hey, Coach Sadiq, what do you do? That's my main mission, is for people to ask me what do I do, because I don't have a website link and I don't have things that the way I do business is a very different way to how most people do it, with the links and with, buy this now and this is amazing product. And I don't do business like that. I want to have a community of people, or I want to have a team of people, or be kind of an influential person where I can share value, but I can share benefits of something that adds value to someone's life for them to go and buy it, not for me to convince them, please come and buy my stuff.
Yeah, that's a very powerful way to do your marketing, because you're putting a face to the name first of all,
Yeah,
which is exactly what I've started to do. And then when you build that one-to-one connection,
yeah,
I think people will naturally buy it because they feel that
yeah.
authenticity, they feel the energy, and they trust you. After
They
watching you for
trust you
some
is the
time.
biggest thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like with Apple, for example, you're going to buy the iPhone, you're going to buy iMac, Apple TV, because you trust the quality of their products, right?
Hmm.
You're not going to buy it and then it's going to break on you the next day.
Hmm.
And in the same way with marketing, because there's so much noise, I think, online on Instagram,
Yeah,
because there's a lot of people doing similar things to yourself and I. But I think it's putting your face out there, which is what one of my mentors told me, is that's what will help you stand out from the pack. So even if you're shy and you feel self-conscious, etc., to break through the noise, you're really going to have to take that leap of courage and put yourself out there. And I think that
hmm,
comes from, I think this is what you've established for yourself from the sounds of it, is that your mission is bigger than you.
yeah,
That's why excuse me, that's why you don't care about the spots on your face, you don't care about the lighting in your room, you don't care about how you're coming across, or if you're you know articulating yourself in the right way, because it's pure passion, right? You're just trying to
hmm,
share your energy. So
yeah,
that's what I'm trying to do with the conversations I'm having and the Instagram posts I put out. I don't look at the light, because some people have said, oh, maybe try and change up your environment. I'm trying to do what I can, but at the end of the day, I'm still going to be consistent and put the videos up. So if I can't get to a certain location, if I can't come up with a certain message, I'll still put the video out there, because I've said to myself, I'm going to be consistent and I'm going to continue to help people even after I get those DMs. That's what keeps the encouragement, I think,
yeah.
because sometimes you think, should I post today? Should I not? And, I'm starting to get a bit tired of doing this on some days, but then you get that DM or you get that message from someone who really appreciates it, and that pushes you and builds momentum even more. So
Yeah,
I think it will get easier as you go along. So
100%. I think you just got to trust the process and just really enjoy it, because I've never had one of those days that, to be honest, I've never had that day where I wake up and I don't know if I should post or not. Like I love it. I look forward from the night before. If I get my post ready from the night before, or sometimes in the early morning, whenever I do it, I'm actually excited. Like, oh, what should I talk about today? What message should I transfer to my followers, to the people that are gonna see this today? I don't really worry about should I post or not, or what time should I post and this and that. I just know my timings and when to post. I do twice a day, and I just post it out there and I just get my message across there. It should, and I know for a fact that at least one person it would impact, right? At least one person will see what you wrote and be like, whoa. Even if they don't comment, there's a lot of silent, I've seen very recently, there's a lot of silent people that are watching every single step you're doing. And they suddenly send you the most wildest and the most craziest message saying, you know what, I've been watching you for a while and seriously, man, you are so inspiring, or this and that, and blah, blah. I had a message just a few days ago from a colleague that I used to work with in retail, and he's been following my stuff and never ever said anything, never ever liked a single thing of mine. I suddenly just got a message from him a few days ago saying, "Man, like I can't believe I'm not even taking action on what you're saying, because the last few posts you've been putting out are freaking amazing. I know you probably think that I'm hiding and I'm behind the scenes, but I'm actually noticing everything you're doing, and you're definitely doing something big, man."
Yeah, that's powerful, because you do get a lot of people that don't like, or they don't comment, but they're looking forward to seeing your stuff anyway. So
Yeah,
you get a lot of people that, as you said, they're silent, they're not interacting, but they're watching what you're doing. So
yeah,
I think you should just keep that in mind, even when you're posting. That's one
yeah,
way you can get yourself out of the mentality of looking at the numbers, and yeah, step
yeah,
away from that, because I fell into that trap, looking at the numbers and trying to figure out, how can I put my following up, and how can I build this faster. And it's just the wrong way to think about it. You just won't put the right message out if you're stuck on that
yeah.
sort
Your
of thing.
energy won't be correct.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's interesting to see that, you've created this personality for yourself, because it's just amazing to see how far you've come from school, being that shy person, and the person that you were explaining, to where you are now. So what would you say to someone
Yeah,
who's currently 17 or 18? They're trying to figure out what they're doing. If you cast yourself back to that time, and
yeah.
they just want to figure out what they want to do. So before they make the leap into university or a job, what would you tell them are the top 2 or 3 things to think about before making that next decision?
Oh, that's a great question. So taking back to when I was that age, even to the people that are that age right now in the current society that we're around, I would just say, you know what? If you're looking to go to university, go there only if you are, only if you know why. The first tip I would give is know why you're doing what you're doing, or why you want to do what you want to do. Because if you're just going to university because you want to party and have fun with your friends, that's the wrong reason you're going. If you're going because you genuinely love the subject that you want to do, and that's your long-term vision and your passion, you want to work in that field, then go for it. But when you go for it, know the reason why you're doing it. Go there 100%, not mucking around, not having fun, but go there focused on why you're actually attending university every single day. That's the first thing, is know your reason why you're doing it. Second thing I would say, for students or 17, 18, 19-year-olds who are thinking of that transition of what they want to do in their life, whether they should go study, whether they should go to university, whether they should go look for a job. I would actually suggest, and I would actually advise you to actually go and work, get a job. If you can get a job early, and experience what the working life is. Because I think, as a young person, if you just start a business and you just have a vision of being successful, I think you should still experience how it feels like to have a job and be an employee. Because you learn a lot. You learn a lot from the people around you, from the team structure, from how the company runs. You actually get a lot of ideas on what you can actually take from this company and then add into your own life later on. So I would actually advise, go and get a job, work however long you want. I don't really care how long you work, a couple of months, a year, a couple of years, but work in a job for the experience. But at the same time, know your passion. Find something that you're really good at. See, for me, I didn't know that I'm good at inspiring people. I didn't know that I'm good at speaking. One day, for my long term, is I do want to go on stages and start speaking and inspiring people. Because now I realize, like, you know what? People sometimes tell me, Sadiq, shut up because I talk so much. But that's because I only talk so much because I love and I'm so passionate about what I'm doing. I want to get a message across. I want to freaking find people that are like me and share that energy and that passion and give it to them, because I'm just lucky and I have this natural energy. After I found what I really want to do in my life and why I'm doing what I am, I found my energy, I found my passion. But I want to now transfer that energy for younger generation, or people like that are my age, 25, in their 20s, who are aspiring to do something big, but the only thing stopping them is fear. The only thing that's stopping them is they're scared to just get up and do it. They're scared of someone's opinion about them. They're scared about people telling them that they're not going to make it. They're scared about other people's opinions. But the biggest one is they're scared about them. They don't believe it themselves, which is one of the messages I always carry out in all my videos. And one of the biggest things I want to share with everyone is believe in yourself. After you find the courage and you're brave enough to go out there and put yourself out there on a video, or inspire people, after you know your reason why you're doing what you are, don't be scared no more. Don't care about what other people think about you. Just go and do it. Don't make excuses even. Don't one of the biggest things I've seen is too many people are making excuses. I can't do this because of this reason. I don't have time. I don't have the money. I don't have the expertise. I don't have a mentor. Why are you worried about what you don't have? Be grateful for what you do have and be more creative to find the things that you don't have. If you don't have a mentor, trust me, go on Instagram, you'll find a mentor. People are ready to mentor you. Go, use social media for things like that. Go and network, but be genuine, be real, be honest, be kind. Don't be someone that you're not. Don't be fake. Be yourself and believe in yourself. And after you find the confidence, find something that you really want to do. I always tell people, find that passion, find that thing that will keep you up at night, that you're always thinking about. I really want this, but I need to do this to get there. But you have to enjoy what you're doing. Like Vipul, you were saying earlier, because you enjoy your job, because you enjoy the recruitment job and the aspect of the skills you're requiring from that, because you enjoy that process of acquiring these skills, you know that you want these skills because in your business in the future and in this big vision that you're creating right now, you know why you need those skills. Whether it's the communication, whether it's the confidence, whether it's the speaking skills, whatever it is, acquire those skills. And I would say that one of the biggest ways to acquire skills is be around people that you want to be like. So follow people and be connected with people that you want to be like, that you aspire to be like. If you can in real life, not just online, but even in the offline world, try and surround yourself with real people who are that person that you want to be like, that you really that really inspire you, and you want to be like them. And go to events. I always tell people, go to events, networking events, or just inspirational events, personal development events. Nowadays there's so many events about entrepreneurship. Go to these events, you'll meet some amazing people that are just like you. They're stuck, they don't know what to do in their life, they're looking for options, they're looking for an opportunity, they're looking for a business, a job, something. Go meet those people and talk to them and share ideas. The other one is books. Start reading books, not like Harry Potter. Okay, because that was before. Okay, back in the days, you can read Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. They're amazing books. Don't get me wrong. I used to love watching the movies. I was never a book reading person at all either. Even I hated books. Even right now, I don't really like sitting there reading the book. But do you know why I do it? Is because I know that if I just sit there for half an hour to an hour reading a couple of pages of that book, no matter how much I hate it, I know that something in those pages I'll learn that's going to actually be useful for myself, and actually it'll give me an idea of a video I can make to actually inspire other people.
Yes, that's good. That's very good tips. And I think what you said there, the last bit that you touched on about reading, is something that is funny, because in school I was always told read more, read more. Outside of hours, to increase your knowledge and expertise in English when you're doing English literature for your GCSEs, A levels, etc.
I failed English, by the way.
That's not. Yeah, you're an aspiring speaker, so it's funny how it works, right? You don't need formal education. You need self-education. That's the main thing, and you need that self-driving factor. But that's the thing. I never used to read stuff. I enjoyed English. I enjoyed history. I enjoyed philosophy. I always enjoyed the art side of things rather than the maths and the science and the engineering. That's not me. I can't do it. Just like you, I want someone to do it for me in the future. I love being creative. I love articulating myself through poetry, etc., etc. And that's where I flourish. But when I found, just like yourself, you found Rich Dad Poor Dad. For me, it was like The Alchemist, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Mastery, all of these books early on. I was hooked, because I was just finding, like, my brain was exploding. Those neurons that were just firing away. I was just like, shit, I found something that I enjoy learning about, and naturally I just want to continue learning, because you find something that you enjoy. And so my take on the question you said about the 17, 18-year-olds is figure out what you enjoy. It sounds cliche, and it sounds like it's not going to go anywhere. It's not, you're not going to make money from it. You will, because the thing is, the person you become is the person that will get paid. You're not going to get paid now. That's the point, because you haven't got the skills. But the person you become by acquiring those skills is the person who will get paid. So you need to enjoy the process of learning. So if you enjoy something, you're naturally going to do better at it. Like yourself, you're going to be willing to stay up longer hours, wake up earlier, put in more effort, not waste time, and then you'll become the best in that field. Just as one of the guests that I had on, Kendall Ficklin, he's one of the speakers who speaks alongside Eric Thomas. right? He's an ETA certified speaker. And he said, look, to get paid, you need to be great. And that's it. Like, just be great in that field. But you can only do that if you enjoy doing what you're doing. And he said, look,
Yeah.
I enjoy speaking. I enjoy coaching. I stay in my lane. That's what I do. I get paid to do that. If there's something to do with real estate or something to do with another area of the business, I have people to do that for me. Or I have my family, my son, etc., who's involved in all of that, that would handle that part. I handle the speaking and the coaching. And that's why he gets paid. And the same with you yourself, you know, you're going to be speaking on stages, and evolving that side of your personality through communication. That's what you'll get paid for. So no, it's really good advice. So thanks for sharing that. One thing I'll ask you before we wrap up with the final questions is, you mentioned a lot about believing in yourself. For those that are struggling to do that right now, how do you believe in yourself?
Again, another question that I asked myself a couple of years ago was, how can, the first thing you got to understand is, it all comes back to the why. It all comes back to your dream. And a lot of people are very uncomfortable with this word dream, but I love saying it, and I would always say it for the rest of my life. Is you got to know what your dream is. Stop using these words like your goals and your targets and all this kind of stuff. It's your dream. We all have one inside here. We all have something that we want to achieve in our life. So first of all, find your dream. You need to find a dream that's not your house or your car, your Aston Martin or your Ferrari, or your travel the world and this kind of stuff. These dreams, okay, it's fine. Put them as your long-term dreams. But what's the dream that you cannot sleep at night, knowing that you're not even closer to achieving that? You need to find a compelling dream, something that's, I would say, is emotional, that when you talk about it, you're passionate about it. You want people to really know that this is my dream, and I will do freaking whatever I can to make sure this one day that I'll have this dream. So the first thing is know your why, know what your long-term vision is, and have that dream in your mind every single day. If you put it on your phone, on your reminders, or in your wallet or something, keep it somewhere where it reminds you every single day when you wake up. I would say, in a way, when you wake up in the morning, remember that dream, and use that dream to fuel your day. Even if you're going to work, you still, in the back of your head, you know that I'm doing, after work, I'm going to do this because I know what I want in my life. I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. So the first thing I'll say is, have that dream. Know your reason why you exist here. The second thing I'll say for you to start believing in yourself is, start doing personal development. You have to start learning about yourself. Because if I didn't know that I'm good at speaking, if I didn't know that I have this natural energy and this passion, if I didn't unleash that kind of limitless potential from within myself, then how would I ever be speaking even on this podcast? How would I even be speaking to people through my videos? How would I be able to do Facebook lives and Instagram lives? And how can I communicate if I don't believe in myself? Because, one of the biggest things I've learned through business and just in life is, people do what you do. And you can use this example as children. Children always like to follow what adults are doing. They always look at you, they observe you, and they do what you do. So if you act like a monkey, they'll start acting like a monkey. If you act very strict and serious and professional, you'll see your kids like very in a different mindset. You'll see them kind of more serious all the time. So just that same concept of how kids look at us and they do what we do, it's a concept that one of my mentors taught me in my life. It's called monkey see, monkey do. So people do what you do. So you have to become the person that you really wish to become. And after you've become that person, you'll actually see that your life will change just because you've changed. And Jim Rohn says it best. He says, for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better.
Yeah. It's one of the quotes that I put on my Instagram. I think this was last year. Is that for things to change in your life, you must change. For your life to change, you must change the things in your life, right? And it's very simple, but it's true. You've got to change a small aspects of your life, like start to look at your friends, start to look at just how you're spending your morning, and start to look at the time you're waking up. Just little things at a time. Don't think about this whole big dream and how you can overhaul your life and quit your job and move away. That it doesn't work that way. Small things at a time, and those will build momentum for you to make a big transition over time.
Yeah.
Whether it's a few months or a few years, But I think it's the small changes that make it a bit more manageable on a day-to-day basis to move forward in a new direction. One last thing to ask you is, what keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up at night?
Yeah.
Just my dream. Honestly, it's just my dream, my vision of who I want to be, who I want to become, how many people I want to impact. I don't have a number. Okay, I don't have a number of how many people, but just however many I can. One day I have a vision of myself, see myself on that stage with hundreds or thousands or millions of people, or who knows. But just me being there, able to say something to someone that can really impact their life and change it for the better. So
Yeah.
for me, it's just that vision of what I want in my life. What keeps me up at night is just my vision, the dream of me doing what I want, when I want, with who I want, whenever I want.
Yeah, that's basically the definition of success for me. That what you described there, definitely. That's just having the freedom, basically, to live the life that I
Basically,
want.
freedom.
To go in whichever, because the way my brain works is that I like to go in multiple directions, right? At
Hmm.
times, so I'll sometimes go down a path and follow it for a long time, but then maybe 5 ideas will come out of that, and I would want to pursue all of them. And you don't always have the time, the money, and the resources and the energy to do that. But if you
Hmm.
had, if I think if you had one of those, which is time, then you could work around all of that, because I always think
Yeah,
Friday nights, Saturday, and Sunday are imperative for me to work on what I want to do to get ahead for the following week.
yeah,
But if that time is diminished and wasted or taken up by other things that might come in my way, then it just puts me on the back burner, because Monday to Thursday is very difficult, because of the schedule, to get what I need done because of where I am now in my life. But if I had 24 hours a day, every single day, how much more would you get done? And so that's what keeps me up as well, thinking about what is that life going to be like, because I want to get there one day. What I'm doing now is only a vehicle. It's a
yeah,
means to an end. It's not the end itself. A lot of people think this is the end. Am I going
yes,
to be here till I'm 60? And so it stops them from being motivated. But if you have that
yeah,
dream, as you said, that keeps you up and pulls you, your vision should pull you in a direction, so you're never staying in the same place.
hmm,
So I think it's very
yeah.
important just to get that clear. So just to wrap up, then the final few questions I ask everyone is, the first one being, I think we covered this slightly already, but this is more personal to yourself, is if you were to go back to your sort of 18-year-old self with all the knowledge you have now, is there anything that you would tell him?
If I was to go back to my 18-year-old self with the knowledge I have now, hmm, I would honestly tell him to start. I, the biggest thing I'll say is I would have, I would just tell myself to work a lot more harder, because I believe like I did waste a lot of time too while I'm doing business, and just things come up in life, whatever it is. I mean, I'm not someone that when I started business, I was very serious from the beginning, even even though I have almost to a lot of people think that I'm someone already very successful and all this kind of stuff, but they just see that on social media. They don't know how your life is, right? This is why this year my one of my biggest mottos was I'm not going to be fake. I want to show people who I am, who I really am, whether it's through videos, wherever it is. I wanted to be a real person. I wanted to add value to someone's life. So I would tell myself, if I was 18 again, that read more books, because I didn't do it enough. I didn't do it quick enough, so I lost a lot of time. I would say, um, just take more action is the biggest thing. Take more action and be more consistent with more of the business aspect, because I think I did waste a lot of time here and there, just doing stuff with family and all the stuff going on. I wasted a lot of time when I could have focused more on where I wanted to go. So the biggest thing I'll say is I should have taken more action. Well, I should at that time, if I was talking to my 18-year-old self, I'll say take more action, be more consistent. You know, I should have actually stopped worrying about what other people are telling me at the time, because that also wasted time for me. And the biggest thing is just I should have just wasted less time. I should just done it and not cared
Yeah,
about. I should have started videos even earlier. Imagine if I started videos 2 years earlier than how I'm doing now. I probably would be in a completely different place.
exactly. No, it's true. And I say that to myself all the time. But of course, we can't rewind time. So the best time to do it is now.
Exactly,
Now, right?
exactly.
There's no better time than now. That's all you really have.
Yeah.
So just moving into the second question, if you could write anything in a time capsule right now, that 3 generations later, so your children could read anything, what would it be? What would you write to them?
That's a really interesting question. I've never been asked that before, actually. Um, that's quite a deep one, actually. That really got me thinking now. What would I say, actually? Let's see. There's so many things I want to say, but if I was to choose one thing, just one thing, I would just write on that piece of paper, find your passion and go do it. Literally,
Yeah,
find your passion and go do that.
yeah,
Because I think too many people are not doing what they really want to do. They're not finding their passion. They're not finding what they love. So if you find that passion, even if it's generations to come, the word passion will stay the same. Find something that you really love and go and do that. It doesn't have to be full time. You can start on the side, but find something that you really love and go do that, because that's the only way that you can have a much more grateful and happy life.
that's powerful, and I think it's as you said, it's something that's going to echo through the ages, regardless of where we are in the timescale. Because everything that we've got now, I was talking to this with someone a few weeks back. It's everything that we've got now. So this internet connection and the laptop, the phone that we talk through, all of that was built with people that came before us, right,
Hmm.
or who are currently here, and that was because they were passionate about something, and so they acted on it and created what they've created, which has allowed us to now enjoy products and services that we couldn't previously have. And so that's going to always continue as human evolution. Everyone's going to be born with
Yep.
something to produce it and bring it into the world, and then they're going to leave and go wherever
Yep.
you go after death. So no, I think that's a really good message. So it brings me to my last question then: is Coach Sadiq is now 90 years old. You're looking back at your life. What's the legacy you want to leave behind?
That's what someone asked me this once, actually. For me, the word legacy is just very simple. It's just mainly two things I want people to remember me by. The first thing is honest. I want people to look back and say, Coach Sadiq or Sadiq, this individual was a very honest man, and he was a very, I mean, sometimes I say kind, but kind is quite a broad word. There's so many things that come out of kind, right? So just basically, I want people to see me as someone very honest and very kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, passionate, kind slash passionate. So, this kind of honest, passionate person who really wanted to leave a legacy behind. Legacy meaning something that people can look at and see as a way of believing in themselves. So I want to be like a source of energy. When someone
Mm.
sees me or talks about me, they straight away think about energy. They think about kindness and passion, and they think about this person was very honest.
Definitely, and I think you're on your way to doing that through your video series, with the speaking that you're doing, and the mindset that you've cultivated. Most importantly, because if everything else fails, everything was to go to shit, you'd still start from scratch, start from the bottom, work your way back to where you are now, because you have the mind frame to do it. So,
Hmm.
thank you so much for taking the time to speak
No
to me.
worries, man.
I think
Thank you
everyone
so
can.
much for having me on here. I'm so grateful that you actually reached out and asked me to be on your podcast. I'm really grateful and really, really thankful, man. Thank you so much.
No, no problem. I think it's easy to see someone who's like-minded and who's on the same page. And I think that's the whole point of this podcast, is to share conversations and wisdom and extract that from people who are going places in life, who have found
Yeah.
their path and who are currently in the process of creating that for themselves. And so I hope people feel inspired from this. And yeah, I mean, I look forward to having you back on sometime soon to see exactly where you are. So where can people reach you if they want to connect with you or see your stuff?
So the best place is to reach me on my Instagram page, Coach Sadiq. Facebook page is also Coach Sadiq, or you can follow me on my actual Facebook profile, which is Sadiq Hussain. Twitter, Coach Sadiq. YouTube channel, Coach Sadiq. Everything is Coach Sadiq. I tried my best to keep my brand very simple and tried to keep my name, Coach Sadiq, everywhere. So just go on whichever platform that you know that you have social media on, type in Coach Sadiq or Sadiq Hussain, and you find me on any platform. I'm on most of them anyways. And I hopefully really look forward to connecting with you guys, because if you guys are looking for inspiration, daily inspiration or motivation, definitely one of my pages is the one that you should come to and kind of take that from, and even leave comments and leave me kind of feedback or things maybe I could improve on, because I'm always looking to get better. I'm not perfect. I'm not this person that's just amazing and stuff. I want to also get better. I'm always improving and learning every single day. So you guys can also teach me something.
Amazing, man. Thanks for your time.
No worries. Thank you so much, Vipul, man.